My name is John Block. I am a member of the Seneca Nation. Right now, we're on Seneca territory at the Faithkeeper School. This is a school that was opened by a couple of our elders quite some time ago, back in the late 1990s. And the song that I'm going to sing is often referred to as the Kinzu Dam song. And this song here, it was made by a man named what's his name? Cookie. That's the only thing I can. What was his name? Arthur Johnny John. He's the one who made this song, and it talks about when the dam went through. They didn't really know what was going to happen to them, and so Arthur made this song, and we still have it to this day. So that's I'll sing it first, and then tell you what each of the words mean. So that first word that he says, "Eonkinogondat," is what it is. Eonkinogondat. It means that they're going to abuse us. Actually, is what that means. Eonkinogondat, eonkinogondat, ganyo eonkio swadon, eonkio swadon, is what it means. Ganyo means like when. Ganyo eonkio swadon. When they, it's an interesting way to say that they're going to, I guess it's like they're going to dam us up, I guess is what it is. And it's referring to the Kinzu Dam at the time. And again, this goes back to the, 1950s, I believe. When the Army Corps of Engineers came through and flooded our territories, they built that dam to stop the flooding in Pittsburgh, is what it was. And within doing so, they flooded, miles of our territory and relocated us to higher ground. Really, they didn't have much of a choice. It's just kind of what happened. I believe they claimed eminent domain on that, and just did it to us. So that's why they used the first word that he did, that they're going to abuse us. Because they kind of just did whatever it was that they wanted to. Eonkio swadon means that they're going to dam us up, and that's what that means. They're talking about the Kinzu Dam itself. Ohio, no. Those are the people of Ohio, and that's the territory that we're on. That's what we refer to it as, and it means like it's a good life. I just spoke with another elder the other day, and he says that word should actually be Ohio, is what it should be. He said that for whatever reason it got that glottal put onto it. And again, I've heard different things about that as well. One means one thing, one means the other. But that's what they refer to us as Ohio no. People of this territory of Allegany, I guess you would say. Gadigwa henji dwait. Gadigwa. It's like wherever. Henji dwait. We're going to go back to it. That's what it means. We're going to go back wherever is what they're saying. Gadigwa hanji dwe, gadigwa hanji dwe. Ganyo eon kyo swadon. Again, he says that. And it means the same thing when they dam us up. So that's what each of those words mean individually. So that song there is interesting. We were in Canada when I learned that. Now, I had heard those songs throughout most of my teenage life, actually, and there's one recording in particular that Herb Dowdy is singing on, and there's some history there that some people say that those songs came from Tonawanda, actually, and it was Herb just happened to know them because of they would get together as families. They would get together, them and like Eddie Black, I believe is who it was. Their father had a connection with that family, and so that's kind of, I guess, that goes back to like the singing society and how that whole thing kind of started. It started as a form of help for the community, really. And they would get together and they would sing after they would, for instance, somebody needed wood for their fireplaces, and they would get together, they would chop wood. When a newly married couple was married, they needed a place, they needed a house, they would build a house for them, give them land. And that's how that singing society basically started. After they would get done with work, they would be fed a meal and they would get together and they would sing. And they would call upon the different ones from the different territories, and they would get together every now and then eventually it just became hey, why don't we do this, all the time? Why don't we do this at this time? And so it became what it became, and they're massive now, those get-togethers. They call them sings is what they call them. And anyway, those group of, it must have been about 10 songs or so, and it's got Herb singing on them, and we listened to them for, like I say, most of my late teens. We were listening to those, and we had no idea what they said, and we never thought to even ask anybody what they said. That was just not, we just listened to them. We never sang them, we just listened to them. We thought they were cool, and so we'd be riding in my vehicle, and we'd pop in that CD, and we would just listen to it. We'd listen to it all the way up into Six Nations in Canada, and we were there for a meeting. It's called Gaiwio. They meet at different longhouses every year, and we get to hear our code of conduct, really. And so what we were able to do was we were able to be sitting there, and one of my mentors, the founder of this school here, his name was Lehman Dowdy. They called him Dar, is what they called him. And he sat there, we were sitting in his van, in the school van actually, and we were just kind of sitting there. I think it was after lunch, and we had already eaten, and we were just kind of waiting for things to start back up. There's about a good, I don't know, 2-3 hours or something like that, where they kind of take a break and then they go back and they, carry on their business at that time after lunch. And so within that time frame, within that, little break there, we ended up talking about that song. And the words that he taught us, they're a little bit different than how you hear Herb singing them. I don't know why. I'm not 100% why. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing a syllable or what have you. But it's just how he taught it to me. And within that message, he talks about the signs to look for when the earth is going to change. When the earth is going to, be destroyed, really. And things will start over. The exact wording is that he's going to do things differently, meaning talking about the creator, and so he talks about what we're going to see. In one of his prophecies, he talks about vehicles, and the other, he talks about airplanes, different signs to look for that is going to signal the end of the world. And so I'm not sure who created this song. I don't know who made it. But Herb is the one that we heard singing it. So we're sitting in the van, the school van, which we probably took up there. Or I may have just been sitting in there, honestly. No, that is what it was, because I remember I took a friend up there. So we were just kind of sitting in the van together, and he started talking about that song. And the words that I just sang are the words that he gave me. And it goes, Gagwego wai no nai. Okay, Gagwego wai. Like everything at this time. Okay, Gagwego wai no nai. It's like he's saying, I think. Okay, that's what no means. Nai, he's like putting emphasis on, like what he thinks. Deo ya do we don is what it is. Deo ya do we don. Deo ya do we don is it's being pondered. It's being thought about. Deo ya do we don gadikwa handway. Gadikwa, it's like wherever. Hindway, we'll go wherever. Yo hawi yo hine one toha. One is like that could be at this time as well. Toha, it's almost. And the word he gave me, he said, "Ewon doin jok that." Ewon doin jok that means that the world will come to an end, is what it means. Literally, like the end of Odok is the end of something. Okay, so like I can talk about this bench, and I could say, ne Ojigayok, the end of the bench is what it is. Odok, the end of it. Ewon doin jok that. Gawe hendwe. Gawe means where. Hendwe, we will all go. Where are we going to go? Gawe hendwe. Ewon dok that. How we go hine. Ewon dok that. It will come to an end. Ewon dok that. Gadeshonyano. Gadeshonyano means I'm getting ready. I get ready. Gadeshonyano swade sa'on means that you're all ready. And it's kind of like in a form of a question. He's saying like, I'm ready, are you ready? I'm getting ready, are you ready? Gadeshonyano swade sa'on di son hengai. It's like for when it just happens. Hingai, it will it will become time is what that means. And it's talking about getting ready for these things that we see. It's things that they were already seeing at that time, and so it kind of made them on high alert, I guess, at the time. They're waiting for what he said would happen to happen, or at least looking out for it, I should say. But yeah, that's where that happened. And again, when you listen to Herb sing it, he sings it just a little bit differently. I don't know why. Those are just the words that I was given by his brother. And so that's how I sing it when I sing it. And I rarely sing that song. Rarely. I rarely sing any of those songs, honestly. Just because I guess I don't know why that is. But yeah, those are what they mean. That's what they are. That's how they were given to me, I should say. So.
Can you share one of your own songs that you made?
Yeah, this one's a little more contemporary, I guess. And we sang this one time. We were in Tonawanda, is where we were, and we put together a set. And I know myself and I think it was just the two of us that led that year. Myself and my brother Josh. We ended up leading that set that year, and I'm gonna have to think of this one too. This one's a little more contemporary as well. Okay, so that song there, again, I made before we sang that at a sing, and I created that. That was the last song that we sang in our set. And so what it's saying is Yo ne ska gone. It's the last one. Yo ne ska gone. We're all going to sing Nanganewa at this time. Nanganewa. Oh he oh no. That one being the people of Allegany. Oh he oh no. Ne agwadanota. Ne agwadanota. We are singers. The last part of it is it comes from a Gata Showed song. There are lots of those songs, and that was one that I liked singing at that time. So I took that and I blended that and I put it together and came up with that song. And so at the time, like I say, it was kind of, I guess, classic for our singers from here, from Allegany, to sing those songs like that. We were known for, at the end of a lot of times, dancing out of the room or the building or whatever it was, and I don't know, it was showy, flashy, different, not something that you would see, very often. And that set there, that was led by myself and my brother. and we had a few songs that had language in them at that time. And so we sang them. We sang them at, during that sing. And that was in Tonawanda is where that was. That was in the community center of Tonawanda. And so, yeah, that would be more contemporary. That's a contemporary song right there. It's a newer song. Geez, I had to have been about, I don't know, 20, 21 years old, something like that. Somewhere around there. 20, yeah, maybe 21, 22. I can't remember if my daughter was born or not. I don't think she was. Yeah, so probably about that long, probably about 20 years or so. And that was what we did at that time. But that's more contemporary. That's one that I made, and I've made just a handful. I don't know. I don't compose songs very often. Sometimes I get on a hot streak, and there have been times there's songs that haven't gone out of mine that nobody has heard. I think the most recent one I sent to him. I sent to Bill, and showed him the song that got stuck in my head. And some of those I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, I've been pulled away from that realm a little bit as more of a speaker, because that's where I'm most needed, I guess, is as a speaker. Language comes easy to me. So I guess that's why that is. But that time that I did that, I sent it, I was on my way further east. I can't remember exactly where I was going, but we went, as I was driving, that song came to me, and days later, there were like 5-6 more that came out. Whether they're parts of old songs that I've heard before or whatever, like I say, they're in there somewhere. I've heard them from someplace, and maybe they're bits and pieces of different songs, but they came out the way that they came out. Like I say, I don't do that very often. I think that song there was the last one that I composed prior to this past year. And again, that was like 20 years ago, so been busy with other things, really. But yeah, that's a more contemporary piece. That's a more, definitely more contemporary. And I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say about that. So.
What do you think the future of Seneca music looks like?
Oh, wow. The future of Seneca music, it definitely looks a little bit different than what we were used to hearing. It's happening now. We're influenced by a lot of different outside sources. We're influenced by powwow music, really. We're influenced by hand drum music. We're even influenced by other groups from other territories. And I don't want to say we've lost our classic sound, because that's not true. It's just headed in a different style, I think, and it works. These young kids like it. They like it when these heavy hitters from this territory sing. They love it, and they've got great voices, and they compose great songs. Some of them I do kind of, I like what I'm used to. I like old things for whatever reason. Even my own songs, they're a little more, I guess they're different from what, the previous generation would have heard even. It changes, but when it's changing, that means that it's living. That's just a thing. The future of it, we've always been strong in all of our songs. Always. I guess that's been one of our many blessings that we've had, is that we've held on to the songs that we've had as much as we possibly could. And we've always, I don't think there's ever really been a lack of singers, ever. I guess our generation, kind of towards the tail end of our generation, like the younger spectrum of our generation, they picked up a little bit more than what, because there wasn't much of us. When I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of us. There was myself. There was my brother Josh. There was my brother-in-law Billy. And he didn't sing that much either. There was a handful of us. There were like 5 of us, 5, 6 of us, something like that. We enjoyed singing together, and we have at one time. All as like a young men's group, we've done that, and that was fun. That was what it was. But I don't know. There's more now. There's a lot more singers now. There's a lot more who are interested. There's a lot more who they've got all the old recordings. In my time, people just didn't share that stuff. There was a handful of people that shared old recordings with me. There was not a lot. I can name 2. And one of them sitting right here. The old recordings were just, people were stingy with those, and they just didn't give them to anyone. But these young guys are like, hey, I got this song from so-and-so. This looks like this. And then they try to sing it the best that they could. Best example right now that I have is they just had us sing very recently out in Cattaraugus, and we were there, and those guys eventually asked me if I would sing with them, and I said yeah. So we went to go practice the songs that they had, and I didn't realize that they didn't have the words to those songs, and they said, can you hear them? And here we are like 5 days before the sing. And some of them I couldn't switch them around. They sang it how they listened, how they heard it, and in some instances that wasn't correct, and I wasn't able to change it a day before. That would have taken, we had a group of like 20 guys sitting on that bench. They had to pull out another 2 benches for us to sit down in. And there was a lot of people there. We sounded great. Musically, we sounded great. It was just the words that are off, and that's where I guess I don't know. They were okay with singing what it sounded like and not really knowing what it meant. I had a bit of an issue with that, but that's just me. I still sang with them. I cut out when I wasn't too sure of what they were saying. So musically, I mean, we're very strong. We always have been. In terms of language, that's where we struggle with them actually doing the research and doing, I mean, they did the best that they could. Some of the people that they went to for the words just didn't really know, one of the songs, I couldn't tell them how it went until the sing was over. And we already sang that song. We sang the wrong words, but that comes with, I don't know, maybe the people that they ask, possibly. I don't know. It depends, I guess. I guess it really depends. But, we're going to see more contemporary songs. We're seeing it now. It's happening now, and these guys, they want it and they like it and they're enjoying it, and they're, really the new faces of the singing society. Really. So I don't know. I think that's a good thing. I do. I think it's a good thing. And helping them where I can, I guess that's where my place is. Helping them where I can with what I know, which isn't very, I wouldn't say it's that extensive. I can help them maybe with some language stuff, but like I say, I stick to songs that I know, or songs that were taught to me, or songs that that I made. And even then, I don't sing those. I never sing my own songs, ever. But yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think about that.